All right, people, let's do this. Let's get numbers going down the list. Hope everybody's, staying true to their New Year's resolution. Alonzo, what are your applications? What are your numbers looking like, man?
Not really a lot. Like I think it's about 10. I'm doing a bit more tailoring, but I haven't heard yet back from some of the recruiters. I got like a response early this week, so I'm waiting.
Okay, so 10 applications or like 10 interviews?
10 applications. I think like two round ones.
Okay, 10 applications, two round ones.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Might be luck. I'm not sure, but I just got started like kind of having more a targeted approach.
Okay, Austin.
Uh, just 30 apps a day. It's still I'm just preparing now for my interview next week. Really
Okay,
trying to like ace it. But I gotta practice my behavioral questions. I'm doing that all week. And I'm really hoping to land this one. It's actually a really good opportunity.
okay. All right, Kartik.
Hey, Rich. Yeah, so I did 20 applications, not much actually. I was just busy at work, but I do have a interview tomorrow with the recruiter at Geico.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes.
Okay, good. So, Justin, have you been applying?
Yeah, I'm wrapping up starting in January, so not
Okay,
at like the old school numbers, but I'm doing okay. Um, uh, just trying to get back into that groove.
okay, okay. All right. Dan, what are your applications? What are your interviews like?
I have 6 interviews this week. Um, Applications only like 30, but there's been a bit of a wrinkle or twist. So I was wondering if I could ask you a few one-on-one questions when everyone hops off today, if that's possible.
One on like, is it like personal stuff?
No, I mean it's like no, not personal, but it's job stuff, but it's like not really, it's like kind of personal job stuff.
Okay, all right. Can you DM me those questions on Zoom, please? Uh, Let me see here. Okay.
I've never
I
had
have
to
Dave
navigate before,
Arsh.
basically. But I'll message you.
Yeah. Dave Arsh, what are your
Hey,
applications?
I'm at 100 this week.
Okay.
Um, and I have one say round two tomorrow.
Okay.
Um yeah, nothing else really in the pipeline. So I'm just really ramping up my numbers now this week.
Okay. Okay. All right. Great. Ellie, what are your numbers?
I have 50 applications in for this week.
Okay.
I'm still waiting for any of those to convert, but I just finished a second round yesterday. I have a first round tomorrow and then another first round on Tuesday. Hoping to get a few
Got it.
more.
Got it. Good, 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 good. Okay. Michael, the
Hello,
story.
hello, hey Rich.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. So I'm at 21. I have two interviews. One is a round one, and I guess the other one is with the hiring manager. So is it around two?
Got it. Okay. Sweta, what are your applications? What are your interviews?
Hey, hi Rich. I'm applying almost 30 applications every day. I
Okay.
have round two this week and another round one.
Okay. Okay. Good, good, good. All right. Doug, what are your applications? What are your interviews?
I only have a couple applications out, no interviews. I've been sick and otherwise
Cool.
taken offline. I have a question. Did the Monday, Wednesday, Thursday call topics change at all? While I was offline, I saw the new invites go out, which is why I'm asking.
No, Monday's applications, Wednesday's interviews, and then Thursday is resumes.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Raj, what are your applications? What are your interviews?
So I'm actually not currently applying. I will start applying soon. So I have a project which is, close to product management. I'm actually doing more business analysis and product consulting. But I will be starting soon, probably in a month or so. But I am still trying to gauge how the market is right now.
Got it. All right. Brent. Prawish.
Eric,
Hey.
so I had about, I believe about 30 applications this week so far.
Uh-huh.
Four, four interviews done till today.
Uh-huh.
This week I have 6 more tomorrow and day after. So yeah, I think 2 round threes coming up on Friday. So hoping to close something. Couple of interviews are very close, but I need to close that. Yeah.
Okay, great. And you still got the offer with American Express, right? Contract?
So it is there, but they are kind of waiting on a budget approval. So I haven't got the final offer. It's still on the card. So
Got it.
it's still
Okay.
open. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Divya and then Ash, like Divya, what are your numbers?
So I've applied around 50 applications in the last 2 days, but I have not got any calls yet. I've just got three automatic rejections. Yeah.
So keep at it. Ashmeet?
Yeah, in the last 2 days, I could just apply for 20, but no calls and mostly rejections. One
Okay.
came in literally in like 2 hours. So thinking if there is ATS thing happening or something.
Are we following up with the rejections?
Sorry.
Are we following up?
They're all automated rejections, so they're not coming like from an HR or something.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. So even automated more rejections even more so. Okay, so we'll talk about that a little bit more. Julia, have you started hitting the numbers yet?
I've got about 20 job apps like ready to submit. I sent you my resume yesterday. I'm not sure if you had a chance to review it, but I wanted to make sure that was good to go before submitting those.
Got it. I'll take a look at it on tomorrow's call.
Cool.
Got it. Mr. Eula, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic.
So I personally need to just start submitting more applications. I was a finalist for a director role with Bloomberg, but they went with an internal candidate, and the recruiter called me and said everyone loved me, but just, an internal candidate is just an easier ramp up for the role. And then I reached out directly to a Reddit recruiter, but that was yesterday, so I haven't heard back.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay, so we got to ramp up. All right. So, all right, people, you guys already know the drill. I mean, what are the questions? Questions, 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 questions.
Rich,
Type the
just
questions in.
if you don't mind.
What's
Hey,
that?
I have a question. If
Right. Let's just make this
sorry.
thing like more as efficient as possible. Can everybody just type the questions in onto the chat? Just because like, if I do like one question like this, then like it's very tiring for me. I need all the questions like typed in. In fact, everybody just take 3 minutes to just go out there and just type everything through. And I'll be right back. Okay, let's go ahead and get to the questions that everybody has. Okay. If Amazon is fast at rejections, right? I'll get to Dan's later. Okay, if a position has a salary range of 100K to like 190K, is that the max you go? Or can I go beyond 190K? You can go beyond 190K. At the end of the day, people buy value. People want to go ahead and purchase like value. If they think like they're getting a product manager that's going to be really good for the role. I mean, I've seen a lot of people that refuse to apply to jobs just strictly because like um I've seen a lot of people apply to jobs strictly like refuse to apply to jobs just because the advertised salary was lower and they find out somebody else that's in this program gets it for like a much bigger rate and they're wondering like, oh, what happened? And it's just, well, when my parents bought their first house in this country, they said the best they could do was 300K. I mean, this was like a few decades ago, but the best they could do was like 300K. But anybody that knows anything about Asian, like Chinese people buying real estate, knows feng shui is like a thing, right? So it's got to face east and it's got to like not have a number four and all that. And then like they met this guy had this one listing and friggin' A, like they said like, yeah, we can go 450. And I'm like, I remember I was like, whoa, where'd that extra 150 G's cash come from? Yeah. So like when people like they see something, well, one of my best friends, he's in car sales, right? So when somebody sees like something like they find is really juicy, like, oh yeah, we could definitely do that. And as a previous recruiter too, they always had this thing where it's just like, if it's like a really, oh, obviously for like a really good position, right? For like a really good, like for like a really good candidate, well, like we'll go that. And that's why I was always like recommend for people to just go more volume, more volume, more volume, more volume, because you just get better at interviewing. How you get better at like, how you get better at like if you notice one thing about all the people that got the big salary rates in the coming out of here is that they always feel like they did something different. And the truth is they just follow the volume game down to the T, which is the more calls that you're doing, the better you're going to get. The average conversion rate for somebody that's joining Product Gym or Elevate on the admissions team is about starting 1 out of 11. But within 4 months, we can get them to like 1 out of 6 calls that they do with us. They pretty much close and then they pretty much get better and better because it's impossible to find somebody that has like my level of recruiting experience and sales experience and product management experience, right? A lot of you I haven't even met until I started hosting more of these calls. So like, and there's no way for me to talk to all you people because there's just so many people looking for a job. Like our phone is like blowing up through the roof, right? Especially now that we're so transparent about our program and like so I would just recommend that you go ahead and you front out more numbers because what's going to get you the big price tag is actually by going the higher rate, the much higher rate. Is that pretty much it?
Now, yeah, so my other question would be like, so generally when they give a range, I've actually lost a couple of interviews because they give a range and then they cannot go beyond that because that's their budget. That's
Right.
what they're budgeted for. And they're like, that's all we can do. We can't go beyond that. So either take it or sorry. So what
Okay,
do you do in that situation?
that's fine. That's actually the rate that I'm looking for. What we want to do here is remove the most amount of friction for you to go to the final round, right?
Okay.
So who's giving you this blocker? The recruiter, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the recruiter is incentivized to get you for the least amount of money possible because you are negotiating against their you are essentially negotiating against their bonus. So a company gives a recruiter internally $1 million. 10 heads at $100,000 each is $1 million recruiting budget, right? How much I save the company at the end of the year is basically going to mean how much I save the company at the end of the year is going to basically that's part of my bonus. I usually entitle anywhere between
Oh, okay.
like 15% or like 10% of it, depending on my seniority level. They always say, oh, that's not true. That is true. That is why, like, why do you care? It's not your money. That's just
Right.
like we should think budget when we're thinking about where to go to dinner on the company credit card. It doesn't make sense, right? You want to know why? Because that's their end of year bonus. Agency recruiting, which is what I did working for an agency, we got commission. So we're trying to get you for the most amount of money.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the difference. But the person that you're going to be working with is not going to be the recruiter. After they take a photocopy of your passport, they ain't going to ever see you again. Maybe at the company Christmas party, and that's if you go in the office, right?
Right.
So you want to get past that person, because who's really in pain? The head and director of product, the VP of engineering or the tech lead, the product marketing manager, the UX designer. You need to have more conversations. And this is actually where a lot of product managers, they absolutely massacre their own interview, is because they get stuck at the gate. For me, it's just like the mindset that you need to come out there with is this. I'm going to tell Harvard I want to go out there and major in Italian studies, and then I'll go out there and try to go into Harvard Business School. The most important thing for me is to get into Harvard first, right? So the thing is, like, if you don't talk to the head or director of product and you get stuck in the recruiter phase, you are phasing yourself out. We don't want that.
Okay. I think
So,
I may have done that a couple of times, but okay.
well, that's why you're on these calls, yo. That's exactly why. That's exactly why you're on these calls. But like, if you go out there and you just move past the recruiter phase, and you actually talk to people that you're gonna work with, that's actually where you want to be spending more of your time on, is talking to people that you're gonna be working with.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
This
Okay.
is
Thank you.
stakeholder. This is you gotta have the mindset, everybody, product managing your own job hunt, right? This is what does every stakeholder care about the most? The recruiter only cares about their bonus. That's it.
Yeah.
They're not trying to get the best person. They're trying to get the cheapest person. And if they're okay at their job, that's a plus. Why do you think like people on the hiring side keep feeling like why do you think hiring managers, this goes back to like the mindset, right? Why do you think hiring managers keep on posting up on LinkedIn, I'm looking for somebody to join my team? It's like they're like, all these layoffs, it's like all this talent can't be that bad, is because you want to know why? The recruiter is like phasing out all the good people. Because all the good people, they keep on getting stuck with like, no. Dude, inflation went up 9% since 2022. Yo, you 170. That was less. That was not only less than what I was making. Like they phased themselves out. So get past the recruiter. If the recruiter says like, yeah, the best we could do is 155. Perfect.
Okay.
Get past them. Okay. All right. I'm not seeing the Monday. Justin.
Sorry, just on that part,
Oh,
like I had a question. Say, for
please.
instance, if a particular, like if a senior guy in the company, because I see a lot of posts come in by like head of product, or when they do it, is it okay to like reach out to them, or no, we should just pass and apply the job?
Okay. So can you re-clarify your question? Like, should you just go ahead and reach out and apply,
Yeah,
or should you like what?
no, yeah. So, I mean, I see a lot of times like head of a product, or I mean, a very senior person has kind of posted for the jobs that these are a couple of jobs opening, come join our team. So is it okay to reach out if it's a very senior person in the company, or no? Would you not advise that?
100% reach out.
Okay. Okay.
100% reach out. In fact, the people that are on H1, I mean, reaching out is pretty much the game, is because the recruiter doesn't want to go ahead and do all that paperwork. You know, the thing is, like, that's the biggest reason. That is actually the biggest reason why we had somebody in the program where they, we A/B tested it. Had somebody in the program where they're just like on H1, they're just reaching out to the hiring team more, and they were just booking more interviews directly, because like the thing is this, when you're on an H1, like the reason why the recruiting team always fights back on it is because somebody's got to do extra paperwork, and recruiters are the laziest people out there, right? And they're just like, so you're telling me like an American can't do this job? It's like, no, I'm telling you to do your job. That's what I would just tell people as like an agency recruiter. So if you have like the hiring team, they feel the most skin in the game, is because they are every minute they're not hiring for this role, they are doing your job. So when they find somebody that they really like, why did all the tech people, basically the tech trade with Trump was this: we'll go MAGA if you let us keep H1s. You want to know why? Because H1s work. So they don't have a choice. So like, go and reach out more. And we already have so much in like just like beyond a reasonable doubt that even for the companies that like people are rejected from, reaching out to the hiring teams have gotten their like interviews like revived. You know, what I want to do as a head or director of product is no work. That's what I care about. It's no work. You know, yeah. Right. This
Yeah.
question, additional questions. This is, you guys got to think about it this way. I know everybody's trying to get what they want, but just take a step back this way and just breathe. Is like, you have like all these like pro-Trump people, right? And well, some of those people in certain parts of the country, they own construction businesses and they employ illegals. And they're like, oh, hey, don't go after the people I employ. You want to know why? Because they get them for cheaper, right? It's a sad thing, but like whenever you go after like somebody, you just got to think, what do they care about the most? What do you guys think I care about the most? Right? What do you guys care about the most? You guys care about getting the highest paid job possible at a shiny logo. So like, yeah, reach out, reach out, reach out. Those are what the Monday meetings are about. Uh, Justin, can you go ahead and pipe in your email and just because you haven't been on the calls for a while, maybe that's why you're not on it. But like Plexi for Justin, Mr. Brennan here, can we get it, make sure that he's on the Monday and Thursdays calls? Gucci. The next question. Uh Okay, should I focus on tier one companies now or focus on any company with a good fit? Should I reach out to company connections even if we are super close, or should I reach out? Like you should go ahead and actually, I think the best interviews to go for are actually the companies that you don't want to work at first and really have like you need to kind of get more into like a groove of things, Mike. And like really just kind of find that rhythm before you go after your own personal network because interviewing less is actually not helping anybody's situation here. You guys have to be interviewing actually more. Um, yeah, we started getting more results. Like once I actually started showing up my face around here a lot more, right, Justin? You've been with us for like what, 3 job hunts now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right. Other companies they do like one coaching call like a week. We're doing it up to like 4 times like a week. I mean, probably the biggest surge of momentum is when we first started doing it. I was doing like one evening and one morning session. That really got Lawrence like really ramped up. Really got Lawrence like ramped up. Because like now it's just like every 12 hours, like, okay, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Which was like the same thing. Like now it's just like we have like these 12-hour accountability intervals, but it's just way too much energy off of me. So like you need to get into that rhythm and get it going. Um, in terms of like tier one companies now. I would say if you want to go for it, you guys should go for it because also those roles aren't always going to be open. And if you want to come back to it again, you absolutely should. Uh unless you committed some kind of violent crime, there's no real blacklist, or unless you like whistle blew. There's also no blacklist. So if you get rejected, you get rejected and you come back. Um, let me see here. Mike, did that answer your question?
It did. Thank you, man.
Okay. Okay. 100%. Wait, can we go over like follow up with like rejections, especially with like auto rejection emails? 100%. So, um, give me a company that you like want to source out, or like a company that you got rejected from recently.
Peloton.
Huh? Peloton?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have the job description for that?
Yes.
Okay. Can you pipe that thing in?
Yep. Hold on.
Uh, Okay. While you're doing that, how to follow up with rejections, especially auto rejections. Okay, I'm gonna totally get back to that as soon as somebody pipes in that, like, okay, so we got this. Ooh. Oh, this is a juicy one, right?
Yep.
Oh, this is a juicy one right here. Okay, you see this? Okay. Does everybody see the job description? Some feedback.
Yep.
I see the job. Okay. All right, great. So let's just say like you apply to like Peloton, right? And you guys get like okay, I'm gonna go out there. Only essential. Let's just say you see this. One thing, don't forget to do. Don't forget to do what? Don't forget to go ahead and even though you apply to this, you also want to take a look at some other related jobs. So if you go over to like search jobs, you're always going to see more other roles that they don't place for or they didn't post up. So let's go out there and look up product manager. Boom, you'll have like other roles, other product manager roles that are there. They're a bike company, so they also do hardware. So let's go back into this one right here. So senior product manager, Salesforce. Got it. All right, so I'm gonna go and let's just say I really want to work at Peloton. Now, let's talk about logistics. I would really recommend that you guys go heads down and apply to like do follow-up is like you just want to just like have your list ready to go. So get like about I would say 10 or 8 companies, right? 10 or 8 companies, 10 or like I would say 18 companies. And this is what you're just doing. If you do this one at a time, you'll never make it through. So I'm gonna go with companies, Peloton Interactive, and let's go to 1 to 5K. And then I'm gonna have this right here. I'm gonna have product in all caps. I don't know why we did all caps. They did like these had us do it, right? And I'm going to take a look at for product managers, and I'm going to source out first and foremost who can I go out there and talk to. Now, usually a good person, group product manager is good. Another person that's also really good. Philip Lab, product operations. So I might want to go ahead and take a look at this job description again. Okay, the roles in New York, Peloton Salesforce team. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at this and I might just go ahead and do product and Salesforce. So I'm going to first thing look first is look for the hiring manager. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to filters and I'm going to go product director. Now we have some people. Now you want to hit these people. Product leader, director of product management. Those are people that we want to go out there and hit up. Director of product, director of product. Okay, so now what are we going to do? The first thing we're going to go ahead and do is, where is this person? Product leader. I'm going to open up this person right here. Okay, New York, New York. The role's also in New York. So I'm going to go out there and take a look. I'm happy to share. Maybe they'll have like a post. I'll take a look at their posts. All right. Come join my team. Okay, so this person's definitely like in a position to go out there and actually hire, right? 3 years and 8 months. We don't know if this is the actual hire manager, but I'll go out there and I'll click connect and I'll click add a note. And I'm gonna go out there and say this like I'm reaching out for the right here. You want to be very clear with the opening. So the product manager comma, Salesforce, product manager, opening with the Salesforce team. And you can cap out like Salesforce, right? Salesforce team. Since I already applied and never heard back. Okay. And then Justin, do you have a Salesforce background?
Yeah, I'm certified.
Okay. Okay. So build and maintain strong relationships with sales and customer support. Okay. So I only have 300 characters and I already busted up like 129, right? You always want to come out and say like for any of the rejections, okay, or like if you haven't heard back, say like I already applied and I never heard back.
Even if
Now,
you're rejected.
oh, hang on, I'm getting there. I'm getting, yeah, dude. You guys need things like in such certainty. Operating the wrong time. Y'all need to get a time machine back to 2021. But I'm highlighting here that everybody should be hitting these roles. Like for a lot of there's a lot of roles out there that you guys have applied to that you guys simply have not heard back from, right? But let's just say in the case where it's just like, well, Rich, I got rejected from it. Okay, totally fine. I'm reaching out for the product manager opening with the Salesforce team. Since I am sales, I have a Salesforce certified. Is it like Salesforce administrator or whatever?
Yep.
Okay, so since I have, I have a Salesforce admin certification. I'm just going to try to save up some space there.
Sure.
Since I have a Salesforce admin certification and a proven track record, I'm just going to take this,
So I have a question. So when you send messages to managers, product managers, and whatnot, has anyone experienced where you actually get a message back? Because I've been sending messages too, and no one really replies back.
Well, here's the thing with your message. You also have to give them something that's like relevant to actually
Yeah,
respond.
well, obviously, I mean, I've been trying that, but has anyone got
Yeah,
any
and
messages back?
once we log
Like,
off,
what is,
let me show you like some screenshots. Like, here's the thing that you have to like think about, right? That thing's not going through the machine. So
yeah,
shy of you hanging out in the parking lot. How else are you going to get in contact with this person? You're going to have to hit them. Now, they might see this, they might not. There is a guy, he wants to be my video editor so bad. I'm going to show it to you right. He posted up, Rich, I want to be your video editor, and he already edited the video. And I haven't even gotten back to him because I'm back to back on these calls. Okay.
no,
So,
no, no. Yeah, I
like,
understand all that, but I'm just asking if anyone has had an experience where people have actually gotten
save your
back
question. Let me finish
on
this
this call.
thought. Because this shit's like, I got a hard stop today. Got to look good for Valentine's Day. I have a life after this shit. All right. These 2-hour therapy sessions are about to be over real quick. Okay, so I'm reaching out for a product manager opening with the Salesforce team. Since I have a Salesforce admin certification with a proven track record, working with sales and customer support team. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna fire this off. Now, you have to go ahead and track this, and within 24 hours, you guys have to go out there and follow up again. And this is actually why on the tracker we have follow up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? Now there is a question of like, well, what happens if I get rejected? And in the case, if you got that thing, like apply at 2 a.m. in the morning. You know, we're running these calls right now. And you know what else that we have to do after this, Kartik? We have to use AI to chop it up. And then after we chop it up, then we got to promote it. Okay. Same thing. Like I just dropped a YouTube video right here. For the longest time, I thought this was like dumb, but my team convinced me to go ahead and do it. And it's just like Rich's like soul apartment tour, right? I pumped it out one time on my Instagram, and I pumped it out the second time on my public Instagram, and I pumped it out one time on my LinkedIn, and I haven't even pumped it up on Circle yet, right? By the way, it's freaking hilarious. People, I actually got so many comments about my LG steamer that came with the apartment. But yeah. Yeah, John, I'm here in Gangnam now. But like, yeah, dude, like, you go out there and that's not gonna be enough. Because literally while I'm talking to
Uh-huh.
you right now, I got a Korean guy right here who's using AI to chop this thing up into shorts, and we're gonna throw it back out there again. And just in case anybody missed it, like we're gonna throw it out there again and again and again. You got to go out there and you got to hit them more times, more often. This is how real estate agents survived down markets. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, I drove him out there. Drive him again. Like Austin. When Austin actually he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go out there and roll. I was like, okay, I told somebody on my team, like, get him on the phone. We get people all the time. They're like, yeah, we're not doing it until January. Yeah, get them on the phone. Get them on the phone with me. Pump them up. The other thing here is like, give them a reason to go ahead and actually do something and actually like commit to this. Commit, 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 commit. Why I actually ran a training earlier today. Michael, who's on this call right now. When was Michael's first message to me? Michael, you fact check me on this. June 30th, 2023. You know when the homie enrolled? 2 weeks ago. Follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. So you send out the message. If they don't get back to you, follow up with them again 2 days from now. Follow them up with them again. And then follow up with them. Justin, same shit. When was the first time I met Justin Brennan? I met Justin Brennan December 2016. When he popped the bullet with us? Like freaking, I think sometime in like 2018, 2019. Okay, 2020. John, when we got John, I talked to John. He said no. 6 months later, he was like, I'm thinking about it. I had him talk to another Korean product manager for an hour and a half. February 2019. He still said no. And then you went, he did. He like enrolled like way late. He's like, I still got to do a data analytics program over there at Columbia. They're gonna convert when they're gonna go ahead and convert. It's just like dating. It's like people come out and they're like, so you ready to get married? I mean, yeah, for the right person. Well, who is that? I don't know. But if I see it, I'll know it. That's the thing. You cannot expect the company that you're interviewing with to have your level of urgency because everybody, they're selfish mother lovers and they have their own timeline and they have their own BS. So it's like, well, like I saw them post, like, yeah, because maybe they were having a very stressful hour. And after they came back from their cigarette or vape break, all right, it's not that bad. Yeah, dude. You guys want to know what Plexi's life is like? I go through like 13 breakdowns every single week. Like, I don't want to do this shit anymore. If you guys think I want to be on this call, you guys are dramatically mistaken. I have no intention of being here right now. I wake up, it's 10:52 right now in the AM, answering the same questions over and over again for 8 years. Get the apps out. Follow up. Hit them again and again and again and again and again. Because you know what they're all secretly thinking is all the people watching on YouTube Live right now. That's on my cell phone right here. They're all secretly hoping they can do this without hiring you guys. That is a fact. People schedule a call at Product Gym every single day and elevate every single day, hoping to just get like a little bit of snippet so they can do it on their own. Okay. And you will catch them. This is why the volume game, you guys are selling high ticket. You guys will catch them at that minute when they feel just desperate enough where they're just like, oh, let's give somebody a shot. That's it. That's all we're working on here. It's not freaking rocket science. This is what all the software engineers never got. And this is why AI is they're trying to use AI to replace all of you guys. You guys want to know why? Human beings are just too emotional. Some days you guys want to wake up, like the person that was most consistent on the call, I'll tell you, the one person that was most consistent on the call was Lawrence and Prit Wish. These are the two that nabbed offers. They showed up to every session. I hosted up 2 sessions a day. So many people at the beginning of the year, they're just like, oh, I'm ready to go out there and get this job. Yeah, 2 days later, it's like the gym buddy in January. Yeah, but Rich, I have to go snowboarding. I don't care. Cool. Makes no difference. Makes no difference to me. Okay. The next phase in my life, we are bringing cybersecurity roles here to Korea. We're making Korea the cybersecurity capital of Asia. I'm trying to work on how to get metal sent to me by the Korean government. Like product management, I'm trying to put this shit in my rear view mirror. Okay. That and trying to get on Netflix. I want this business to be on Netflix. Like, that's it. That is it. This is all my team here in Asia. This is all we care about. So, like, that mindset, why I always focus on mindset is stop thinking 1 + 1 = 2. It does not. Stop operating on certainty. Does not exist in this market. If anything, things are only going to get more volatile. So when I'm giving you guys all this information, all I ever get back, this is why the entire coaching business doesn't want to do coaching calls. Okay? Because we give you guys one thing, but, then do nothing. You guys ain't stopping me from throwing my princess wedding at the Shilla this year. You guys think I'm going to let any of you stop me from hitting my number? Get out. Not happening. We're doing 10 million as a business this year. I ain't letting any PM, tech sales, or cybersecurity folk tell me otherwise. We're hitting 10,000,000.0000 USD. Mark my freaking words. And my team in Asia is ready to go. All right. So, like, the mindset, hit them again, hit them again, hit them again, hit them again, hit them again. And then you know what you do? Stack up another list and hit them again and again and again and again and again. All right. So that message, send it out. And you know what? If you guys even think that your message is not good, just send it out anyways. Because somebody else is going to go out there and take that job. My freaking thing's not like, not all my videos are Rockstar. So, like, no more buts. Change the but rich to I will do it. I love living in Korea. No more like, but, all right, done, done. All right, let's go, Rich. All right, done. Okay. I'm also gonna tell you guys this too. This is actually, nobody will ever keep it with you guys this real. This is not helping you guys on the job. On the job right now, they want action takers. The people that are getting laid off are like, but my friends that are in recruiting, this is when they're having meetings who to lay off is like, yo, man, that guy John's just too difficult to work with. Had a scrum meeting with that guy. That guy said but 7 times. Dude, let's get rid of that dude. That's exactly what's happening out there. One of the things that nobody in hiring wants to admit is they interview these people that got laid off and they're like, actually, I think I know why that guy or girl got laid off. You know, so you got to operate this job hunt like it's your own business because it is. All right. And then get ready to go out there and pump out the personal brand. All right. So let's actually go out there and chomp through these questions. I'm currently consulting for New York State. I work on the digital products, which are public facing. While I can answer easily UI, UX improvement and new features, I struggle to go out there and answer strategy questions, such as questions related to competitive analysis. What did I do to get more users and etc. Okay, if you guys are talking about skills this is a very specific question. If you guys are now finally an interview question, if you're talking about skills that you don't have, what you want to go ahead and do is you want to talk very specifically this. This, you want to acknowledge you don't have the skill, and more importantly, what are you going to do to learn the skill? And then third, what are you get? How is that a major benefit? And here's how you set it up. I'm going to be honest with you, Alonzo. I don't have that skill, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. I'm going to tell you how I've learned skills, new skills quickly in a very short period of time in the past. I'm going to tell you why that's a value add for you. I'm going to give them a list so they know I'm not going to ramble. And this is why you guys need to do mock interviews. Okay, so I don't have that experience because I work on the digital products that are public facing with New York State. But the problem is I don't have this skill because of the following reasons. Rest assured, though, even on the job at the moment, I also have to learn about 5 to 8 new skills every single week. And I'll be very transparent that I've never had any experience using or developing in the past. And this is my process to learn new skills quickly. It's called YouTube. I go out there and I plug in exactly what it is that I need to know. Okay. I plug in exactly what is it that I need to know. And I imagine that's going to be a very valuable skill in this market where you have to learn new skills constantly. If I want to be even more rock star, I turn it back over to the hiring manager and I ask them, are there any new skills that you are trying to develop right now that would expedite the roadmap that you haven't had time to get to? I would love to also be an additional resource for you to be like, I don't know how to go ahead and, our email marketing specialist just quit. Justin, I would love to go ahead and take that off of you right now. Okay. So don't just if it's just a yes or no, there's no recourse. What you want to go ahead and do is say the following. I'm not going to lie to you, John. I don't have it. And this is the reason why I don't have it. It's because I was not given an opportunity to develop this skill in my current position or my previous positions. But I've learned, I have a very clear process in learning new skills. And we also want to acknowledge this. We're in a market right now where we all have to learn new skills. I have to learn YouTube myself. So this is my process to learn. Oh, that's cool. And I'm sure there's skills, John, that you would like to learn, but you don't have time to learn. And there's things that's holding up the roadmap, right? You usually learn new skills because any amount of time that you feel like you're going to wait for somebody to give you an answer, you feel like I can just get it done so much faster myself. So let me show you how that's a value add. Because if they're like, but you don't have this, you don't have this. Yeah, but let's just be real. Trump might sign an executive order next week that changes our business model and we have to learn more new skills. So that skill is not going to be relevant. I'm going to have to learn additional new skills. That is also true, right? So whatever it is that they're saying no to, just give them another reason to go ahead and say, yes. Raj, did that answer your question?
That was very helpful. Thank you.
Okay. We always want to, the reason why I study so much, people think like I'm such a Trump fan. Not so much his policies, but definitely his mindset. You always want to acknowledge your weaknesses into strengths. The guy's got 3 rules of winning. Number 1, attack, attack, attack. Number 2, admit nothing, deny everything. You always claim victory and you never admit defeat. So you guys are going to get rocked with all these answers out there, right? Instead of trying to sound like, you don't have it, you don't have it. Acknowledge it. They would appreciate that answer so much more than somebody trying to lie to them. And unless you're really good at lying, don't lie. Don't do it. And that'll come up again too. John.
Yeah, Rich. Hi. I don't know when we last spoke, but this is my first kind of like a call that I'm joining back after like years, probably like 8, 12 months. I just want to say like I completely, especially after 3 years of being a product manager at CVS, I can come back and say that like everything you're saying is so true and there's so much value in what you're saying. Uh, and I'm not just saying that just to like be a teacher's pet or something, but I really appreciate everything you're telling us. Um, yeah, and then it almost feels like the best way to message people on LinkedIn for these job posting is actually outside of 9 to 5 typical work hours. because that's when people feel like they can talk to you authentically as themselves outside of just the role that they play between 9 to 5.
I mean, like 100%, you know, like I have every intention of getting, I mean, you got to understand there's like things that's going on in like these other people's lives too, right? So like you have to have a little bit more end user empathy. Like this homie right here just straight called me out. Like I can't believe he actually did that. That's so aggressive.
You do.
But like he actually this is actually some new level shit right here. He was like, "Hey, Richard Chen, we would love to work with you. This is why." And then he followed up again with me today. He actually posted this thing up on his public feed. I was like, who would do that? But he's got my attention. Um, and he actually sent me a message today. He's like, yo, man, give us a shot. Don't just hire Korean. But he's also messaged me here. He's messaged me on IG. I don't know how I mean I want to get back to him, but I just have like other stuff that like I'm doing and I have like you know, if I never turn this thing off, like I would never get to the gym or like eat, right? So like you guys got to understand that like they're getting blown up on that side too. This was definitely a very innovative way to get my freaking attention. If I'm landing interviews with the hiring managers through LinkedIn Connect without submitting an application, does that still count? 100%. 100%. And how much should a product manager profile resonate to existing experience while applying? Like, if my experience is in growth, should I even try to apply for PM at everything, everywhere, all at once? Because the number one thing, like 85% of the interview questions right now, behavioral questions have completely overtaken technical questions. Like in John's era, when you first met me, like when we were still very much in person in New York, technical questions was like very, very big. Now it's just like, tell me how would you go ahead and manage multiple high level priorities? Because that's the kind of market that we're working with, right? Tell me how you would deal with an ever changing roadmap. You know, how would you go ahead and do research quickly? Like they'll ask you, like, if a team member is no longer with the team, how would you fulfill that void if you didn't have that experience? Because if you're taking a look at it, we're not in peacetime anymore for product management. We're well into wartime. So that book that was written by Andreessen from Andreessen Horowitz of like chapter 15, he was like wartime product manager versus peacetime product manager, wartime product manager versus peacetime product manager. Chapter 15, by far, bar none, must read. This was like the guy was like director, VP of head of product at Netscape. For some of you guys that are still old enough to remember, Netscape was once a browser. And Microsoft just announced that like they were getting into the browser game. And he's like, as the head of product, I had to announce to our team, we are officially now in wartime. He's like, we are working 7 days a week, including the weekends. I need you to notify your significant others. They'll be seeing you a lot less. We'll also be ordering food, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, like even if you don't think you have a good fit for the background, still hit it. And you can't customize your LinkedIn that much. You should just keep it still. John, did you have something to add in there?
Yeah, and Mo, I see you have your hands up. I promise I'll be quick with my question. So, Rich, the follow-up question to everything you've said just now is like, what's driving that trend for going from technical question-based interviews to behavioral-based?
Donald Trump. In like large part, see, I've been pumping up like, dude, we pumped out like 50, just like I think like 53 YouTube videos just for the product gym channel itself. Like, no, not everybody watched it all, right? Every time he signs a new executive order, like JP Morgan Chase, I've actually like listed this a lot on my LinkedIn, is like they've set up a whole floor. It's called the War Room, just to analyze every single Trump executive order. How does that affect all of their positions in terms of investments? And however Wall Street responds, then tech also reacts. So like the thing is like every single week the market is very different. I would say when I first met you, like 2018, or when I first met Justin, December 2016, you know, tech was on a very clear trajectory. It was very peaceful. Like people didn't really have to like work really that hard. That was actually when like the effort that took to bang out 20 to 30 interviews at that time versus the effort right now is definitely a lot more aggressive. But also, we've been telling people those strategies for 8 years. So this is why we had to innovate and go with more LinkedIn, because people have been watching us for 8 years and they have been noticing us getting a lot of people a lot of jobs. So like you have to adopt. So like it's always evolving. Like we had a message 2018, it was hilarious. We would send out, it was like our unique algorithm determined that you're looking for a product manager job. Yeah, that thing got such good conversions for us. We sent out like a few of those messages, and like within like 3 days, people started enrolling, and then like 3 months later, like people stopped doing it because they're just like, "What's your algorithm? Can I see your algorithm? How'd you build the algorithm?" So it's always gonna go out there and change, and you got to go out there and just like you have to just go out there and innovate. Mo and Pertwish, hands raised. Talk to me.
Yeah, so my question was around screening conversations with recruiters. So we're kind of changing topics here if you're okay with it. Overall,
I just gotta still get to the questions from the people that already typed it in. So
I
unless it was
typed it in too, but okay, I
yeah.
can wait.
Okay, good. All right. So like Austin, can I get a fresher of how we should be framing our comments on the job comments after we apply to? Watch the coaching calls, buddy. That's why they're there. That's actually why it's on YouTube, because so much of your competition's already doing it and they're still not like they're already seeing it and they're still not doing it, right? Okay, good question. As a follow-up, if you give them a higher range, what would be the impact? I mean, if you give them like a higher range, here's the thing is like you have to ask yourself very clearly, like, what do you want? What do you want in terms of like you want the most amount of money, right? So a lot of times people don't want to give them a low range because they feel like it's going to impact them later. But you can always change your rate after you give them a lower rate, because if another company gives you a better offer, your rate is no longer the same rate. Does that make sense, Bo? So um that's usually the pushback that I get is like, why are we even going back and forth on this in the first place? Bo, question.
Could you please repeat that?
Okay, so like, here's the thing: if they say like 150 to 200, right? Kartik here, obvious wants to grab 200. Shit, who the hell wouldn't? That's a difference of a BMW 5 Series, $50,000 right now, right? Puts things into perspective when you're like, that's a whole BMW. That's what my boss used to say. That's a whole BMW 5 Series right there. It's not nothing, you know? But like with that said, right? Like when people drop like a lower rate, like I always when I negotiate, I'm always thinking, what do I want? I want the 200K. So it's like, but Rich, like if I say 150, what if when we get the offer, they're like, but homie, you said 150 like last Wednesday, like now you're saying 200. Well, another company gave me 200, and now I'm 200. I mean, if you're selling a house, right? And you're selling it for 900, and then somebody else gives you, John loves it for him and his girlfriend. He offers me 1.1 million. Now all of a sudden it's 1.1 million, right? Right. So like ticket prices like StubHub, the ticket prices actually depending on who it is, it's going up. Taylor Swift knows that metric very well. you know so yeah, if my Madrid show just sold out in 27 minutes and I just posted that thing on my Instagram, my Twitter, like the next show after that in Berlin, you're like, hang on, but it was like $175 a ticket. It's like, nah, dude, I mean, Madrid, we just sold out in 25 minutes, so now it's actually 275. You don't have to come. So if you're showing up the value, and the best way to show value is to have multiple offers, and the best way to have multiple offers is to have multiple interviews. The best way to have multiple interviews is to have multiple applying. When you have a lot going on, why do you think we rolled out a tech sales and a cybersecurity program? And why do you think I'm in Asia? I was like, we're too dependent on the US market. Cybersecurity out here, cybersecurity on average, within a year and a half, they'll make 400K if they get 4 certifications. You know how long it's going to take the average Korean guy to get 4 certifications here? About 6 months. In America, it takes about 18 months. They'll do it in 6. And they will go ahead and grind in Asia all day, all night, all weekend to the point where they want to kill themselves. It's like, Rich, I talked to this, like, we threw a talk here yesterday. I was like, if they give me a chance in making even more than 70,000 US dollars, I'm going to give you my everything. We hosted a talk here. Yeah. Like, I showed them the numbers already. So, like, there you
No,
go.
I understand the idea of building leverage for you to negotiate salary once you get to an offer. My question was more around in the early stages during screening, right? So yeah, I had a recruiter reach out. They're like, "What's your range?" And I made the mistake of giving my range,
Hmm.
which in my opinion might have been reasonable, but maybe I'm looking at tech, not payments based companies.
Higher
So
range is always going to price you out more because, like, if you give out the higher range, the better way when they're asking you for a range, either they're going to give you information or not. Use your judgment. If they give you, like, it's like, okay, our range is about like 150 to 170. Okay, so I'm within your range. If another thing that they actually want to go ahead and ask is like, let's just say like they don't want to give you a range, like, okay, Mo, what are you targeting salary wise? And then you ask them, what do you have budgeted for the role? Why don't you just tell me? Okay, so here's the response, which I've recorded a shit ton of YouTube videos on, by the way. Okay, and let's just say Alonzo's the recruiter. Alonzo, you can I know why you're asking me this question. I really understand why. But you got to understand, you're putting me between a rock and a hard place. On one hand, if I give myself a number too low, it shows that I don't value myself. But if I give a number that's too high, I'm pricing myself out of the market because you want to go with a lower price dude. So why don't you go ahead and tell me this? I'm not going to waste your time. What do you have budgeted for this role? And what do you have budgeted for this role? And if I'm not within that range, I'm not going to go ahead and waste your time. If anything, I'll just refer you to another product manager that I know personally that'd be a way better fit for the role. Now, what if it's on the application? Okay, well, and Rich, they don't have a number on the application, but they want me to submit a rate, submit market rate. Well, what if they want just a number? Okay, well, use your good judgment. On average, right now, the average product manager salary that they're trying to get a PM at is 150 to 175. So you say you're 150 to 175. Once you actually start talking to the hiring team that you're going to work with, the hiring team is defined as the team that you're going to work with, then then you actually go ahead and then you actually go out there and start dropping your real numbers. Does that make sense, Mo?
it does. So if I did the mistake of pricing myself out, they would just stop right away, right? They just wouldn't pursue it.
Yeah, because the recruiter is only getting paid about 75 to 90K a year. Where they really get their money is actually by saving on that year-end bonus. So it's like I give you $1 million recruiting budget. There's 10 heads at $100,000. If you spent $750,000 to get a $1 million head count, then like you're entitled to like maybe 10 or 15% of the bonus. So if you do the math, $250,000 I saved them. If I get like, $25,000, all of a sudden I'm a six-figure earner, right? That entices me. But the whole philosophy behind that is tech companies are like, well, Steve Jobs and Elon Musk got A+ talent at below market rates because they're selling the vision of the company. Yeah, but unfortunately, this company here isn't Apple or Tesla or SpaceX. It's kind of hard for you to ask me to sell a halal bowl at like, Salt Bay rates, right? So, but that's what they want to go ahead and do. So that entices very bad behavior. Because most companies just suck to work at.
Okay, understood. So I start with their rates and then tell the recruiter what she wants to hear, he wants to hear, and then go to the recruitment team and go from there.
Come on, man. You're from Toronto, dude. Don't be, you guys ain't no strangers to telling people what they want to hear. Look at Justin Trudeau. He's been
Yes,
telling
yes.
people what they wanted to hear for years. Question, Pert Wish.
Hey, Rich. So my question is a little bit different, right? I have taken care of the volume game. I have a lot of interviews now. So this is the first time I got a feedback from a recruiter. I have been following up with him about because I gave a good interview. So he says that you have to improve your storytelling skills. You have a breadth of knowledge, but there are certain things you need to articulate in a little bit different way. So my question is like, I am giving so many interviews, and so what that is doing is I'm not focusing on any particular role to drill deeper into concepts. So I would like to get your feedback on having that balance where I can, especially in the round twos and round threes, should I slow down a little bit, take lesser interviews a day, and focus more into perfecting my answers, or what do I want to get out of this course sooner? So any suggestions on how do I?
I absolutely know you do. I'm gonna post this thing up on Circle in a little bit, but like Privish was actually on my podcast here where we talked about along with some of the other PG alums that you guys will recognize. So we'll post this up. Actually, I'm gonna get this thing on here right now. Plexi, can you go out there and do me a gigantic favor and post this up on Circle? Just say like check out the new podcast. Um, but having said that, I would actually say the following. Instead of thinking about how to perfect your stories more, like I would actually focus more on asking the interviewer questions. Why do they like who is it that they want to work with and what are negative experiences that they're trying to avoid? And like ask them questions more about them because your stories are only effective if it's resonating with that person and not every single story, right? So like when people schedule a call here at Product Gym or at Elevate, and we're like, oh yeah, like Clarence, like you have this background, like we have somebody that got a product manager, like you don't really give a shit. If it sounds scripted, it kind of turns you off even more. Like for me, when I go on these calls, what I do is I try to talk to everybody like a human being, and like I actually tell my team, like, because I can't get to all these calls myself. Like, take a step back, look at that person's LinkedIn profile. Like, look at where Mike's working at right now. Look at where he's at right now in his career, right? Think about what is he trying to get out of this call? you know, think about that. And we need to actually practice the thinking muscle. Like, look at the person that you're interviewing with right now and just do some like basic level human profiling of like, what do you think they want, right? And if you don't know, you can always just go out there and ask them. Like, when you're talking to a software engineer versus if you're talking to like a tech lead versus you're talking to a product marketing person, ask them the following questions. What matters the most to you in working with the next product manager? What do you care about the most? One of the questions that I always train my team to ask is this. Okay, say you enroll with Product Gym or Elevate. What do you feel like you need to be successful in this career transition? In fact, let me change up the question. What do you feel like are your biggest challenges that our team needs to address with you so you could be successful? And I have them use very specific questions like, what do you feel, what do you believe are the specific challenges in your unique situation that's stopping you from getting this product manager job? So let's flip it around into a product management sense, right? Because I want all of you guys off of this call. Okay, clearly right now, right, there's a lot of talent that's in the marketplace. You guys have your pick of every product manager you want, people that's worked at startups, people that's worked at big tech, a lot of experience, little bit of experience, straight out from school, straight out from graduate programs, people that have a technical background, people that don't have a technical background. And yet, what type of product manager do you feel like you need so you can talk about what they want, you can focus all of your time on the priorities that only you can do and nobody else here can do? That's just that one question is going to really get them to think, and it's actually going to go out there and really make you stand out. Ideally, as the head or director of product at this company, what would you like to go ahead and focus all of your time doing here? And what are the things, going back to the other questions, what are all the activities and what are all the people that's taking your energy and your bandwidth away from doing the things that only you are good at or the things that you still enjoy about this job? 2 questions, very simple. Right, we're gonna post up this call after this, and then you guys can go out there and watch the tail. This is actually when the calls get good. Is actually towards the very, very end. Is like when we get like past the therapy part, and like now let's just talk about the job. You know, because at the end of the day, what they really care about is like they only want to do 2 things. They only want to they actually care about 3 things. They want to spend the least amount of time working because at their level in the game, they're not making any more money. They want to spend all of their time only focus on the things that they only want to do. Or they want to focus all of their time on just doing the things that only they can do. Like as the head of product here, I am the only person that's qualified to talk to the investors. But yet like, you're spending all this other time doing other stuff, right? For me, all I want to do is just actually spend all of my time creating content because that's the only thing that I can do. Like I don't need it's not worth my time to go out there and do one-on-one calls with people. Yeah, sadly to say, I'm sorry. I want more calls with the Korean government about how we're going to make this the cybersecurity capital of Asia. This is how we're going to get better paying jobs here. That's how we're going to solve the population crisis. Oh, tell me more. So like figure out like what is it going to take. Cody got his first product manager offer asking a simple question like, what do you hate the most about being the head of product here? A lot of people know that question has been one of the key reasons that like people have gotten a job, and a lot of people are very afraid to ask it. But it's also like, what's your like mentality? I took Michael Ayula's call actually like I think around the holiday time or close to the holiday time, and then one of my team members just couldn't take the call. And I haven't done one of those calls like in a while. And like I didn't have like anything ready. I was just talking to Michael. I was like, oh, okay, I see your experience here. You're pretty senior. What's going on? Like, what do you need? What's important to you? And when you're asking people the 2 things that they care about the most, which is what do you want and what do you hate? Oh, you find people to be very chatty. So like when a lot of times when like I was a recruiter, people would be giving all these stories out. And like I could just tell by the hiring panel, they're like phasing out. They're like, I can't forget. And you guys can tell too on the Zoom call, like their body language is like they're trying to maintain the minimal professional courtesy of like trying to like, yo, bro, it's not working for me. Like I don't know if it's working for you. So like ask them those questions. And if you guys think it would be helpful, I'll just make a whole YouTube playlist about the best questions you guys can go out there and ask. It's not been about your stories. It's finding out what hurts the most for them first, and then providing those seconds second, and those stories second. And if you ask them really good questions, your stories matter less because most people don't even ask those questions. If you even go up there showing like you give a shit, and this is actually what I do, is this. When somebody's scheduling a call here, why my close rate is so strong is I come at it with the mindset of like, I'm recording all these YouTube videos and I'm trying to blow up all our YouTube channels, and I'm doing a lot of reading and things are not working. Like, why can't people just be more direct with me? And I'm just trying to focus on like I'm trying to get this information right. Like, don't waste my time with all this other crap. So I put my emotional level to where they're at. Their emotional level right now is like, this person's going to waste my time. I've been talking to all these product managers. All these guys and girls just want a job. They add no value to me. I might as well just take the money we have budgeted for them and just give that to us as a bonus in March before tax season. But if somebody actually was really good, yeah, we'll pull the budget and we'll go out there and draft up the DocuSign, which is what you guys want to get out of here, is the offer for a big number. So if you ask them these questions again, the Jordan Tucker testimonial is probably the best testimonial to go out there and watch, because he was so and you guys got to go out there and watch it. I've been telling people, now I'm just gonna tell my team, just keep posting that thing up every single day, just watch Jordan. Because like the question, the way that he asked these questions was like, I understand where they're coming from. He got COVID. They called him up every single day for 2 weeks, making sure he didn't take a job. That's how good you guys want to get at the interview process. So let me go ahead and get to this. You scroll all the way down here. It's probably the most important. I don't know why people like they don't watch this one even more, but like, how to close your next product manager offer. Watch that thing for the next 30 days. Like I promise you guys will go out there and close more offers. Okay. Is like he caught COVID and it's like you see how pumped up his face is? Like, Rich, they called me every day for the next 2 weeks, making sure I didn't take a job anywhere. That's what you guys want, right? It's like you're that good that they're like, no, 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 no. Make sure that guy doesn't get a job somewhere else. That's actually how good you guys wanted to go. So like, that's that I think it was a very big takeaway. That really got him to nab his job over that Hulu because it's like it clicked for him. But sometimes you got to do it more for it to go out there and click for you. It can't be like, oh, it makes sense. Like you do it. It really does hit a light bulb where it's like, oh, that's actually where it makes sense. You know. Yep. So like I'm actually gonna go ahead and create a playlist here. Like all the stuff is like if you guys want to get your resumes reviewed, go ahead and go to the product manager playlist. These are all the updates. A lot has changed since you first joined, John. Justin, a lot has changed. So if you guys want your resume reviewed, like let's not do a 3-hour therapy session. Like let's get this thing here. And crazy enough, like yeah, like I'll pump out more playlists for people to go out there and watch. Uh Playlists on interviews. Okay, specifically like what? Like questions to ask, case interviews, like what, Mo?
Like just how do you handle like the questions that you mentioned for the recruiter were helpful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, like what are some of the challenges you're facing? Is this a new role? Is it not? I think those kind of questions really give you information up front, and they're very, very, very helpful. But for the behavioral question, for the behavioral interview, we'd want to just understand some of the best practices. So you mentioned when you don't have a skill and they ask you how you want to approach it. Think about some of the questions you want to ask, but then like what are some of the questions that you need to prepare for and you really need to know well versus ones that you don't need to practice as much because you can't really practice all kind of questions, right? There are some boilerplate questions that you should expect for those interviews that's worthwhile for you to craft your story. And then you just need to know how to improvise with other questions. And then case studies, obviously, that's very important. So if you are able to whip up a playlist, I think that would be very, very helpful for us. So then we can have something to mock each other on, right?
Yeah. Got it. Okay, that's fantastic. Well, that's good feedback for me too. Case study interviews. Okay, all right. So I'll take care of that. But you guys gotta give me like a week. Okay, so all right. What was I gonna say? Yeah. You guys want to get this job? You guys want to get this like promotion? Like, John, was your final question?
Yeah, no, not a final question. Not a question, but like, Rich, first of all, I'm Korean. I speak fluent Korean. So if you ever need a PM working for you to help with that Korean government stuff, hit me up. But also, like, I really like this is my first PG coaching call that I joined in a really long time. And man, I fucking miss this, right? It's like brutally honest feedback and advice and coaching that I get that I don't get from anywhere else, from anyone else. So I really appreciate this, Rich. So thank you so much.
Man, dude, I really want to thank the motherland for allowing me to have this place as my new home. I love it out here. But like having said that though, hey, if you guys want to go out there and get like your next job, if you guys want to go out there and get like your next raise, your next promotion, honestly, it's just figuring out what is pissing off the person that you're trying to get a yes from, and they will give you a yes. That's honestly the secret to navigating the job market, either in, up, or over, is like if I give them something, that's what politics is all about. Is like, and the people that refuse to play the game, unfortunately, they're not the people that are all making more money than you guys at your current job. they don't know Jira maybe as good as you, but they know this part, and this is the part that actually matters, right? It's like, my team was phenomenal in making this transition for me to come to Asia. And this is actually what I've been talking about this for years, and they really made it happen for me, and I'm like thankful for my team. Justin I had dinner with in New York the last time I was there, and like we talked about how much the city has changed. And like yeah, like a lot has changed in like tech hiring. A lot of things have changed in the last few years too. So I really recommend for y'all to like go out there, get more volume. And like the more volume that you do, it just really like clicks. And this is actually why like the product gym community, I'm only able to be with you guys for so long in a given week. Reach, like apply, like actually go out there and like who wants to apply? If you know you guys are not going to apply, like reach out, apply together as a group. Lawrence and Sean, Sean's been another one where his freaking job hunt just took off. Was like Sean was another one where his thing just took off. Was like freaking A, they did a mock interview and they recorded like the whole thing, and they're just like, oh, what do employers see? Now they're both off these calls. They're done. Like the whole point is to not be here. The next thing is to really just go ahead, and you guys see I'm doing more brand shit. The next point is to get here where the product manager resume of 2026 is going to be a YouTube channel. There's a freaking reason why I'm showing like, me going to the gym here. Like it's all about going to be I was totally convinced by it for the longest time. I like completely, like absolutely like put it off. But yeah, like having said that, resumes, I did get one person type it in. Those are Thursdays. It's 11:35 right now. I got to go ahead and get to lunch. But having said that, personally for Dan, I actually took a look at this. I think this thing is like really just good to go.
I was going to ask you questions. You think it's okay?
I mean, I mean, your background is great, so I think you're like good to go.
Do you think that's too long? Do you think it's too long, or do you think it's okay?
No. It's usually like, not really, because they glance through this thing. Dude, this thing took me like less than like 9 seconds, like just glancing at it right now.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. But like, yeah, we have to like just. I think I was talking to this one Korean influencer yesterday about like getting jobs out here. Like, you gotta like. We have to like get out of this mindset that like if we do everything right, we're gonna get this. Like like every opportunity that we miss, something better is gonna come around.
Yeah. If we're off camera, I'll explain it to you though. It's like
hang on. Yeah, for everybody that's making it to this part of the call, stop being cheap and just join Product Gym already. You guys know you guys want to get it.